You have it pretty easy because I've done this a lot.
Yeah.
So.
You're gonna help me.
I'm gonna help you. You got that right.
Okay, tell me something more about how you started in the music business. Not even the business, but why did you start with it? Was the guitar, was it your first instrument, or is it from your parents, or the city you live in, or where did it all start?
Yeah. I was always very much into music, but all of my friends were playing music. I was not only into music, but I was also into literature, and was also, to a certain extent, always felt like I was on a journey. I know it may sound kind of corny, but I always felt like I was destined for something. But since all of my friends were playing music, I gravitated more towards writing and literature. But I got so into music from my grandparents. My parents weren't really into music all that much. I got so into it, I couldn't resist anymore. So I started really becoming a student of music in general, but then wanting to know the roots and where it came from. So I started digging back. And so I started writing my own songs, mixing the writing with the music. The guitar was not my first instrument. The mandolin, the mandolin, that was my first instrument. So I started playing old time music and country and bluegrass. And then the more I started writing songs, I realized, and I played fiddle after that too for a while. But I realized that the guitar was the best instrument for writing songs. In the stringed instrument world. I always wish I could play piano. And frankly, the piano might be the best songwriting instrument there is. But I don't know how to play piano.
So during your journey, you were thinking like, I will copy the style of my grandparents too. No?
I think everybody starts out with music, starts out with anything they want. It means, when they're inspired by something, they're going to try and copy it. You look at hip hoppers, they all wear their pants around their ass, and they wear tight jeans and baseball caps that are made in China, and so they're influenced by things too. We all try and copy something at first, but I was never very good at it. Everything I do, I always end up being myself right away. So yes, I started out that way, but I'm more concerned with being my own person.
And those colleagues in your band, how did you meet them? They were friends from you for a long time, or is it just in a particular scene that you've met those people with same interests or same musical interests in the era you liked?
Yes and no. No first. The South City 3, the guys I started playing with first. My drummer, harmonica player, my bass player, and then my guitar player. I met them when I was playing on the street in a mountain town called Asheville, North Carolina, and in western North Carolina. And they were touring through with another band, and they saw me playing on the street, and they liked what I was doing, So they invited me out to their show that night, or the next night, or something like that. So I went out to the show, and we hung out that night, had a good time. Well, I had just started touring solo. This was about 7 years ago, and so I started adding St. Louis, where they're from, on my tour. And I went there, and it just blew up. Then they take my music back to town with them, pass it around to their friends and a record label and things. And it just blew up. And what's it? Woo! Man, I can sense that some bitch coming on the whole time, man. Wow. I held up pretty good though. Okay. So St. Louis was good to me. I moved back to Kentucky, and that didn't work out. Me and the girl I was with at the time didn't work out, so I moved to St. Louis. I needed to get out of town.
Yeah.
So I moved to St. Louis and started the band with them. We played together for about 4 years. Just then.
You've been a lot on the road for those 4 years, I guess.
You damn right.
Yeah.
And then Chloe, clarinetist, moved to town to study music in college, and she quit school to go on the road with me. And then TJ, we toured Europe a lot. He's English, and he was playing in a band that was opening up for us, and I stole him.
Yeah.
Stole him.
Yeah.
He moved to St. Louis a year and a half ago.
So you've been here in Europe a lot before, no?
Yeah. This is probably at least my 10th time, my 15th time here, probably in the last 3 years.
Yeah. Okay. And you've been in Belgium during the last days?
Well, we just did that festival in Belgium, Roots and Roses.
Yeah. Okay.
But we played in Brussels, we played in a couple other towns.
Okay.
I think we've done Antwerp once. Do you remember what we did? Not last time, but like 2 years ago we did a couple towns, I can't remember, smaller towns. Bruges?
Bruges, yes.
Yeah. That's right.
I think we did Bruges.
Yeah. So and now you're here for some more days. You go to the north of the Netherlands and then you fly back home.
We're going to Groningen tonight, and then Nijmegen tomorrow. And Monday we're playing 2 shows, one in Haarlem and then one in Utrecht.
Yeah. And how is it to play in the Netherlands? You like it?
Yeah, people seem to like me, and people are just we connect. I really like it here in the Netherlands.
Can you compare it?
Say ik hou Nederlands. Ik hou Nederlands. Ik hou Nederlands.
Ik hou van jou, of nee?
I like the Netherlands. I love the Netherlands.
Ik hou van.
Ik hou van Nederland, ja.
That's exactly yeah, Dutch it's very subtle. It seems like anyway. It was good. We played at the Paradiso last night.
Yeah.
And it was sold out. It's a big show, and so Amsterdam is where we do the best, but Groningen we bring out 800 to 1,000 up there too. So they're very receptive. We have a good thing going here.
Can you compare it with Belgian people? Is it different to play in Belgium?
Yeah, I think a little bit. Yeah, I think the Belgians with a little bit more of the French in them make it different. The French have a very strong culture that permeates all things. I mean, you go to Montreal in Canada, you go to Belgium, you go to Louisiana. There's French, it's a very interesting thing. What I mean is that specifically here in Europe, the French are very quiet at show.
Yeah.
Very quiet. The Dutch are a little bit more rambunctious.
Yeah.
You know what that means? Rambunctious? See? I'm teaching you words. You gotta teach me some words, man. Come on. I haven't learned a damn thing. Teach me something here.
Okay.
Right, I'll go read a book or something.
Smakelijk.
That's great.
You know the word?
No, what's that? Smacko?
Bon appetit.
Well, I don't know. What?
Smakelijk is in Dutch.
Smakkelek? That's bon appetit in Dutch?
Yes.
Sweet. Smakkelek. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Smakkelek?
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
I think now is a good time to ask where do I go from here?
do you write?
After Holland. I mean.
Yeah, where do you go
Right.
after Holland?
Well, we're gonna go back to the States, and I go back in the studio. We're gonna continue recording more of my record.
Yeah.
And it's something that takes time.
Yeah.
So it'll take a while because I'm on the road so much. Then I go home and then of course I'm writing constantly too, and so I think I have songs for a record, and then I write more and I'm like, oh, I want this, but then I need time to rehearse them and get them tight. Anyway, so that's what I'm doing, and then festival season starts. So doing festivals across North America, and we're coming back over here to England and to Belgium and to Holland and France in August, late July and early August. So you guys should come out. I think we're doing some stuff in Belgium and Holland. So keep in touch. We have a website, PokeyLafarge.net. So, and hopefully the music continues to get better, and so do we.
Looking forward to it.
So am I.
Okay.